What's going on, YouTube family? Today we're going to be talking about why the repo crisis is getting even worse. Now, for the last year and a half, repos have been picking up at a steady pace. Now, we broke an all-time record over a year ago on how many repos are going through the market. That is higher than 2008 during the Great Recession. So that just lets you know how far we've come when it comes to repos. Now, we're watching the whole market kind of unveil, but there are a lot of things that have changed since then, and I want to talk about some of those things today. Now, the first thing I'm going to be talking about is the actual sentiment or the bank's attitude towards lenders that are in default. Now, over the last year, they started giving people a lot of leeway because they didn't want to repo a car because they owed too much money on the vehicle. So if they can keep the customers in that car for longer, they're able to capture some of that money before repoing that vehicle. Nobody wants to take a car that they owe $40,000 on, take it to the auction and only get $25,000. So they were trying to do as much as they possibly could to keep the clients in the car and work out some sort of payment programs, forbearance programs, put the payments at the end of the loan, whatever they could do to keep the customer in the car. Well, unfortunately, a lot of these things backfired. A lot of people never got caught up. A lot of people took advantage of these programs and they simply just weren't paying. And over again, banks realized that if they keep waiting, as you kind of see in the market index, cars have been dropping price steadily for the last 24 months. Nothing has gone up. So that just lets you know that we are on a decline when it comes to car values. And banks have finally realized this. Over the last few weeks, I've seen them do a complete 180 where instead of them trying to say, you know what, let's just keep these defaults, kick them down the road and eat the deficiencies later, they're like, we don't care. If they're late, repo. We just want to get the car, get the money off our books. They can foreshadow better lending in the next 18 to 24 months. So they want to go ahead and put the losses on their books now so they can take advantage for the next 18 to 24 months. Now, the bad thing is if you're working out some sort of payment program with these lenders, I'm telling you right now, they're probably going to lie to you. So if you're late, maybe 1, 2, 3 payments, and they're telling you just make a minimal amount of payments and they'll work with you, don't believe it because you may be making payments, you may be working with them, but as long as you're late or you're deficient, they will put you in default and they will take that car and there's nothing you can do. Even if they accepted a few payments, then at the very end, you either have to pay in full or pay the difference. Now that we talked about the bank sentiment, let's talk about what's going on with the actual repo companies. Now, we've seen the repo lots absolutely jam-packed with vehicles. We knew this was going to happen as repos started picking up. But there is one major indicator that lets me know that we're on the trend of 2008. This is when they start picking out their cars and raising prices. So just recently, I visited a repo yard to look at some vehicles. They had nothing that was older than 2019 in there. And I asked them why. They basically said they only want to get cars from tier 1 banks because they're going to charge these guys, instead of $350 a repo, they're going to charge $1,000. Now, they did the exact same thing in 2008 where they charged more money and all the other banks had to compete with this. So if they're paying $1,000 and you want to get your car picked up, you're going to have to go up to $1,000 to pick up that car. This is a lot of independent lots, smaller banks, title loan companies. They don't have the money to pay for $1,000 repo when maybe their loan is $2,000, $3,000 or just a couple $100 if it's a payday loan company. So when I talked to my friends that own the repo company, they said that it's more valuable for them to keep that space open to wait for a car that's going to pay them $1,000 than to stuff a car in there that's from a title loan company or some other subprime lender that's only going to pay $250 to $350. And another thing that's really changed is how much money they're charging when it comes to pickup of their vehicles. Because their lots are so full, they can't pick up any more vehicles. Now, typically, these cars will stay in the lot for a few days, if not a week or two, until the customers collect their personal items, and then they get sent off to auction. But little by little, these things are sitting there longer because a lot of the auction yards, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute, are absolutely full. So now the repo yards are taking advantage of this, charging them even higher fees when it comes to storage. So if they don't pick them up in 7 days, that fee starts accruing from there. This is exactly what happened in 2008. Once they ran out of space, the fees just kept going up and up and up, and it let us know that there's not a shortage of repos. They're just going to pick the ones they want and get it. So if you've noticed in your neighborhood, some of your neighbors not driving the same fancy cars they used to, some of them probably have sold it, but unfortunately, I'm sure a lot of these people have fell victim to actually getting their car repoed. So now that we covered the repo side, let's talk about the actual auction side when it goes up for sale. So over the last 24 months, vehicle values have been steadily dropping month after month. This puts added pressure for banks and repo companies and auction houses to get these cars out as fast as possible so the banks can recoup as much money. Now, here's the downfall. After waiting all this time, some of these cars will wind up going to some of these auction lots and sitting there. I've taken you guys there a few times. You can get online or even drive by your local auction. You're going to see thousands of cars sitting right next to the auction, but just sitting there, and you don't know why. Now, some of the reason is because a lot of the banks want to wait for 30 days to see if they can work out some sort of payment program with the actual customer. Now, if they can't come up with it and they can't pay it off, then they'll finally decide to take it to auction. But even then, some banks are very slow to bring those things to auction because they didn't want to flood the market with too many vehicles because it drives the price down. Now, dealers like myself pay attention to how many cars run every single week. So if your local auction house runs only 200 cars a week, you kind of know where your prices are. But all of a sudden, the next week they have 300 cars. There's more competition, prices are going to go down. And banks know this. So they are not going to flood the market with too many cars. Every week when they're a little short, they add a few more on there, add a few more on there. Now, this was something they've been doing for the last 8 months, with some sort of success. But the downfall is, like I said, prices are dropping fast. The vehicle values are going in the tank. So the longer they hold on to it, the worse it does. I got a perfect example of this. Now, when I did my last video about 6 months ago, I was trying to buy a Rolls-Royce Wraith, I think it was like a 2017 or 18, from BMW Financial. Now, 6 months ago, I put in a bid for $160,000, and I was the high bid. They called me up and told me they wouldn't accept my bid. They wanted $170,000. I told them that's retail for the car. I'm not going to pay retail. $160,000 was basically my price. So they said no. They decided they weren't going to do it. Waited another 30 days and went back to auction. Now, I was once again the high bidder at $155,000. Once again, they told me it was going to take $170,000 to buy it. Now, I waited almost 2 months and I saw it back at the exact same auction in California, so I decided to bid on it again. This time, I won it for $140,000. Now, they called me up and said, you know what, we're willing to do $160,000. And when I got on the phone with the banker, I told him, I was the high bidder the last 3 times this thing has been up. Nobody's going to give you more than what I would for it. This time, if you don't accept my $140,000, I'm not even going to bid on it. And so I pretty much left it alone. Now, this last week, it just ran again, and I saw the highest bid was $21,000. So this just shows banks that if you keep holding on to these crazy prices of what you lent it for, you're not going to get that return. You're going to have to basically do something to drop that. Dealers are not selling cars. And this directly affects how they're actually buying the cars. And if they're not buying the cars at auction, banks can't sell their cars. And if banks can't sell their cars, they can't give new loans to people that dealerships can finance through their facilities. So this is all tied together. And this is why the repo market getting worse is affecting it from start to finish. This is how it affects the car market. Now, the reason why this is so impactful is, like I said, when something in the actual distribution of repos slows down, whether that's repos, auctions, and then into sales, it basically clogs everything up and it slows it dramatically down. And when it slows down the speed of transactions, it slows down the value of the actual vehicles. Now, every month, like I said, you could see vehicle values dropping, but over the last 3 months, we've noticed a significant drop because banks don't want to take a risk when it comes to lending these cars. If you've noticed, if you try to go get a new car, they want to get you at a higher interest rate. They want bigger down payments. They're going to ask you for proof of income, proof of residency. They're going to double check your insurance. They're going to check all your stipulations because banks have been burned so badly with these crazy bad auto loans they gave out during the pandemic. It's still going to hurt them today. Now, I remember when I did a video about 2 years ago and I said this effect is going to hit them for 5 years, people laughed. They're like, oh, well, 2020 is almost over. You got to remember, they did these really bad loans from 2020 to 2023. So it's still going to be another 2 to 3 years before all these bad auto loans work themselves out of the system. This is why I kept saying that dealers and banks rob their future sales to put a bunch of money in their pocket just this one time because they took advantage of everything. And now you have all these people that can't afford their payments. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to sell their car. They can't sell their car because they owe more on it than what it's worth. Well, let's go ahead and refinance it and lower our payments. Well, you can't do that either because once again, you owe more than what it's worth. Most banks will not refinance it. So what are people to do if they're getting behind in payments, their credit's going down, and they can't afford the monthly payment? Their only choice is to either give it back up for repo or wait for the repo companies to actually pick it up themselves. And this is where millions of Americans are falling into this trap. Now, it's only going to get worse as the economy starts to slow down. We've seen so many places lay off people over the last 8 months. It's slowly catching up. Now, we keep saying the same thing, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, Lucky, you said this like 6 months ago. Exactly. That's the point, is you're seeing the trend. And every time something new happens, just like I'm telling you today, how banks have changed their lending, how they're basically going after people not working any payments, every time there's a big change, it's going to come with the follow-up. So now I believe banks are going to become even more cutthroat if you become late or have any type of issues. So if you are, like I said, behind in your payments, or you're working on some sort of payment forgiveness or forbearance, you need to get that locked up and make sure that you're ahead on your payments, because at any time, if that bank feels that they're going to lose money, they will just come and pick up the car. Because, I know a few local banks here in Nevada, and they told me that every time they tried to give forbearance and try to help people, all they did was rack up a bunch of miles, beat up the car, and didn't make any of their payment programs. So banks are done. They're not playing anymore. They want to get their vehicles, get them back, take the losses, and go out and lend again. Because like I said, in the next 18 to 24 months, they see the steady incline when it comes to the economy. So now everybody's kind of getting excited and getting prepped for that. But in the meanwhile, we got to suffer through these probably next 3 to 6 months of just everything kind of slowing down and getting kind of rough. But I think now, if you're looking at buying a car, once again, do not pay retail price. I hate it when people say, oh, the dealers are charging too much for the cars. Remember, that's an asking price. If they put up $50,000 and you're an idiot and you pay it, that's your fault. But if you call them and say, hey, will you accept 45? And they say no, keep calling them, offering them 45. You can get a better deal if you put effort into it. There's nothing worse than customers calling one time, hey, will you take this? And they say no, and they get upset. Dealers are jerks. They won't work with me. Remember, write an email, get on the phone, fax them an approval letter, fax them a copy of a cashier's check. If you want to take a picture of a big stack of cash in your hand, or actually show up there at a dealership, show them that you're a serious buyer, you're ready to go, you will get a better deal. I'm telling you this right now. And the whole crap of, oh, people are going to raise prices of cars because of tariffs, it's BS. Even if they raise prices, it's not going to matter. There's not enough cars pushing through the market to make any type of difference. I love it when I look at some of the auction houses and they're all saying that auctions are down, new loans are down, but somehow they're like, oh, but we're going to raise prices because of tariffs. You can't. It's supply and demand. If you want to be an idiot, if you're not selling anything and you decide to raise the price thinking that it'll psychologically trick people into buying, it's a fool's errand. Market's not moving. I promise you this. You go to any dealership, drive around, take a picture of a few cars, drive back the next week, I guarantee you a majority of those cars will still be there. So they're not moving as fast. One thing to remember is majority of dealerships, their application count is down 50%. That's how I can tell business is slow. If we're only getting 58% of the amount of the people that applied for cars last year, this year, that lets me know that we're really in trouble, and it's only going to get worse. And like I said, as this repo apocalypse starts piling up with more cars and the crisis gets even worse, don't believe the hype, don't buy into the FOMO. Take your time, be patient, buy a car. And like I said, if you are working out some sort of payment program with your lender, make sure you get it in writing and get it done quickly, because at any time they can take up your car. But anyways, I'd love to know your opinions in the comment section below. Are you currently working with a bank? Are they working with you? Do you guys have any crazy forbearance programs? I heard there were some credit unions that are giving people anywhere from 2 to 3 year forbearance programs because of COVID, and some people rode that out the whole time. So imagine buying a car, not making a payment for almost 3 years, and then now you're finally up to due. Why make a payment on it? Just let it go. You basically been driving it for free for 3 years, and there's so many people that did that. But anyways, let me know your comments in the section below, and we'll see you next video.